Welcome to The Explainer. We are diving into a literal foundation-shaking shift in cybersecurity today. I mean, just picture the absolute bedrock of our digital economy. Stuff like your banking data, enterprise VPNs, secure cloud networks, suddenly standing on incredibly fragile ground. Well, that's exactly the reality we're facing with the impending quantum computing threat. So let's jump right in and look at how this breaks modern encryption, and more importantly, how we can actually survive it.
Seriously? What if all of today's supposedly secure data gets decrypted in just 5 years? I want you to visualize this impenetrable, glowing data vault that's holding all of your company's most sensitive information. Got it? Now picture that lock just dissolving. Poof! Everything inside is totally exposed. It's definitely a terrifying thought, right? But guys, this is the literal ticking time bomb we're dealing with right now in enterprise security. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the impending quantum threat, then look at vulnerabilities and survivors. After that, we'll cover the high-stakes risks, move into post-quantum cryptography, and wrap it all up with the CIO survival guide.
All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, the impending quantum threat, and breaking the mathematical complexities.
You know, traditional encryption essentially relies on math problems that are just way too complex for our standard computers to solve. And why is that? Well, traditional computers operate on binary bits, strictly zeros and ones. It's kind of like a flat coin. It has to be either heads or tails, right? But quantum computers, they use something called qubits. Think of a qubit not as a flat coin, but as a spinning 3D sphere that can exist in multiple states all at the exact same time. And it's that crazy physical property that lets them calculate exponentially faster. And honestly, that mind-boggling speed brings us directly to the mathematical weapons that are designed to shatter our modern encryption. Specifically, we're talking about Shor's and Grover's algorithms. Shor's algorithm acts like a massive wrecking ball to asymmetric encryption, and Grover's, it drastically weakens symmetric encryption. To put that into perspective, it effectively takes a super secure AES 128-bit key and reduces its strength down to just 64 bits. So our PKI infrastructure, our secure web sessions, suddenly they're at immense risk.
Which brings us to Section 2. Vulnerabilities and cryptographic survivors. Let's see what breaks and what holds.
So you might be wondering which algorithms are actually sitting in the crosshairs here. Well, traditional symmetric algorithms, things like DES and 3Ds, they are already considered totally broken in the quantum era. But what's even more alarming are asymmetric algorithms like RSA, ECC, and Diffie-Hellman. These are literally the backbone of our digital economy and internet banking, and they are highly, highly vulnerable. They'll be the first targets, for sure. Really, the only temporary shield we have right now is AES 256. It definitely offers a stronger defense, but make no mistake, it won't hold out forever.
Moving on to Section 3, high-stakes risks, or as I like to call it, the enterprise ticking time bomb. Now, I need to emphasize this. This is not just some future, far-off sci-fi problem. It is a massive, present-day enterprise crisis. So the crucial point here is that attackers are operating on a harvest now, decrypt later model. They absolutely aren't waiting around for quantum computers to hit the commercial market. Right now, as we speak, they are actively stealing and stockpiling your encrypted network traffic. They're just sitting on it, waiting to decrypt everything the very moment the quantum tech matures. And the ripple effects across different industries, they are just going to be staggering. Look at banking. They're facing devastating financial fraud and potential swift network breaches. Manufacturing risks losing their core IP and all those sensitive CAD designs. Then you have healthcare, where patient records legally need to stay secret for decades, totally exposed. Government and defense, 20 to 30 years of classified info is suddenly compromised. Even cloud and SaaS providers risk their entire TLS and VPN architectures. The disruption is literally going to be massive if we ignore this. Okay, so how do we fix this? Let's dive into Section 4, post-quantum cryptography, our absolute best defense against these quantum algorithms. Fortunately, we aren't totally defenseless here. There is a solid, mathematically sound response to this threat, and the industry is shifting hard toward post-quantum cryptography, or PQC. Basically, these are new mathematical problems that are just too complex, even for quantum computers. We're looking at some amazing new categories: lattice-based, hash-based, code-based, and multivariate models. In fact, NIST is already standardizing tools like Crystal's Kyber for key exchange and Crystal's Dilithium for digital signatures. And the smartest enterprises out there,
They are already deploying hybrid models, essentially combining the old RSA with the new PQC just to get that sweet spot of backward compatibility and future protection.
And this brilliantly illustrates the concept of crypto agility. What is it? It's basically the crucial ability to rapidly replace cryptographic algorithms in the future without completely overhauling your underlying IT infrastructure. Think of it like building a super flexible architecture today. So when standards inevitably evolve tomorrow, and they will, you won't be stuck tearing out your network block by block. It is absolutely the ultimate safeguard for modern enterprises.
Which brings us right to our final segment, Section 5, the CIO Survival Guide, featuring strategic recommendations for enterprise readiness.
So how do we actually implement all of this? First off, IT leaders really need to wake up to the massive regulatory push that is already underway. Seriously, regulators aren't just sitting around waiting for disaster to happen. Standards like the NIST PQC mandates, the NSA's CNSA 2.0, and super strict GDPR data sovereignty rules, they are all pushing aggressively toward quantum readiness. Pretty soon, regulators are going to start asking you directly, hey, is your data quantum safe? Early planning here is going to drastically reduce breach impacts and frankly just guarantee much higher customer trust.
All right, to actually defuse this quantum bomb, you need a proactive plan. Here are 6 exact steps you can follow. Step 1, start with cryptographic discovery to know exactly what's running on your networks. Step 2, identify your long-life, highly sensitive data. Step 3, build out that crypto agility roadmap we talked about. Step 4, start doing some hybrid PQC testing in your staging environments. Step 5, and this is a big one, do a vendor readiness check. Asking your vendors about their quantum safe roadmap is completely non-negotiable today. And finally, Step 6, tie the whole shebang together by combining PQC with a zero-trust architecture.
Ultimately, the biggest mistake in cybersecurity isn't actually being attacked. It's ignoring the future threat. Let that sink in. Upgrading to quantum-resistant encryption is not just some routine IT software patch. It is the absolute foundation of your future business resilience, your regulatory compliance, and your digital trust. A quantum-safe strategy simply has to be on your roadmap, and you need to start planning it today. So the real question is, are you ready for the quantum era? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and as always, stay curious.